Hello guys, it's Fang. Today we're gonna do some SAT question as usual, and yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna get started on the English portion right now, and yeah, let's go. Okay, for this one, yeah, it seemed like I messed up a little bit on this one. I don't, I guess this can't be right because it's talking about agility. This should have been like a medium, or yeah, this is a medium. I think, yeah, I've messed up on this one, but clearly it's just qualifying his yeah, early description of him. Bridges like iron, and it's talk about how he's like a brittle type of iron. So like, yeah, qualifies the description. Let's go next. Okay, sorry for not turning on the timer, but yeah, for this one, yeah, this one's definitely a description, pretty easy. It talked about how he invited some people, and I went straight to here. It talked about the location and how it expanded. So I think this is keyword expand, and talk about like the years. So it's clearly talk about the foundation or mission of the art guild. Okay, pretty tricky here. I was thinking of A just because it talked about the it talked about how there's no rating. I guess D probably make more sense. Let's see what D said. Discuss a straight cautious. I guess it really does talk about like cautious and making a claim. Um, to misunderstood. I think I think this one is talking about the research finding, and D is talking about the actual the presentation in that was preceding. This one talked about like the actual presentation. I don't think the actual presentation talked about talked anything about like talked anything about like being misunderstood. They just talked about how it's like mentally stressful, and I'm guessing D makes it for that. Yeah. How would I rate this as a medium? And I kind of messed up on my part again. Um, yeah. Let's see why A they say A will be wrong. Yeah. Yeah. It talked about cautions, not example of how research finding are. Yeah. I think the one that got me was the word about misunderstood. Misunderstood. I think the visual presentation itself is not misunderstood. I think the idea of visual presentation is um it shoot. Study example why caution need to be when discussing visual presentation. Proceeding not as example how research finding are often misinterpreted. Not example of how research finding relate to this topic. Okay, I think I think this one talking about the actual research finding. So yeah. Mm, okay, for this one, I guess I didn't read the whole passage, which is probably dumb. I guess I only read about like till here, and I just went straight for the answer since most of the answer choice were pretty long. So, yeah. It just characteristics explain why a researcher raised a possibility turned out not to be supportive. Um, Isotope. Uh, yeah, I guess researcher finding on also shared this characteristic. However, examination of a carbon outside layer in the phone indicate the contrary. Okay, so I guess. Sorry, my throat's like kind of bad today, so that's why I'm not turning on my camera and other stuff. But yeah, I guess it talking about how the chemical indicate whether the fungus is producing. Okay, here. The last sentence. Okay, cool. The last sentence. The last sentence talks about how it's actually decomposers than actual mutual partner. Oof. Okay, overall structure. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the delay, but for this one, um, yeah, it talked about the striking images. This one talked about like impact on it. Okay. A, C, and D, it has nothing to do with it because this one talked about correctness of her observation, nothing to do with it. This one talked about how there's like contempt contemplantis. Wait, let me come contempt paste. Okay. Apparently this is just thoughtful for looking thoughtful. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't talk about the human aspect. It just talked about, oh, why is it white? Just talking about the image itself, the birch wood itself, and D talked about the impact on our mood. Yeah, it does not mention anything about the mood, so that one is definitely off wrong. Yeah, let's go next. Okay, for this problem, this thing talked about how this is like positive as you can see, so I'm guessing yeah, then a subtraction, then this I'm pretty sure this is a negative thing. I'm pretty sure if I this is a yeah. No, this is okay. Never mind. It's a positive thing. It sound negative, but it's positive. So I was talking about how distraction also such something distraction actually yield less relief. Um, the distraction that became that seemed less kind. So I how do I explain this? I guess it's talking about how it's like harmless, right? And it yield less relief than a distraction that seem more yeah, a distraction that seem more yeah, yeah, less harmless. So is contracting it is um less harmless, mid or offensive, detects division, yeah, less harmless. Yeah, so yeah, I just compared these one. I think yeah. Not sure how to okay, I'm not sure how to explain this, which is probably a bad thing on my part because if I can't explain it, then I don't know how, how to answer it and how my process think. But what I saw was this talking about how it gently is escalating. So oscillating. Ban such discussions at least liberties than section that seem less gentle. Like a bit, yeah. Okay, yeah. And I'm pretty sure this word is just yeah. Okay, this is just like yeah, not harmful but not offensive. So it's definitely talking about something positive because this part, I guess. And despective, novel, and impractical. Oh, okay. To be honest, all these just doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. Let's go next. Okay. Yeah. This one's pretty simple. It's talked about how these are like he believed these storms are not completely something to observe. So something about observing it. And he talked about how you utilize these type of like materials. So it's talking about how it's not completely intangible, meaning you can't like grasp it. I guess you can say, because repetitive, explosive, and regrettable has nothing to do with it. These are simple, pretty easy word to understand rather than like the hard, like level 6 and 7, like hard word that like you pretty much have to guess on some of the time. Um, yeah, pretty much you gotta get lucky on those ones, and yeah, it's like unable to touch physically, but yeah, he explained how you can actually like see them and how to represent them. So yeah, let's go next. Okay, crap. This is okay. I don't feel too bad, but also I felt like I should have got that one too. It's very tricky for these ones, cause this incorrect. Um, I guess I should have read all the answer choices and then clicked, but I just went straight for B. Because this one talked about how it discussed excuse me, distinguish between the protagonists. So I'm guessing like, oh look, this one talk about like, oh Maggie, and then how her tension changed when he noted her hesitation. So I'm talking about, oh, this must be like this distinction between like the protagonist and the other people. But D make more sense just because it's like it gave a critical concept. Yeah, a critical concept because it said right here, um, her tension gather, and then he noted her hesitation. This interaction, this is the key word, I'm pretty sure. This interaction talked about how this not only read her mind but also the expression, and how he is reading her mind instead. So yeah, it's like it described this concept, and this is like a specific moment that they gave. I guess for a question like this, when I talk about like, oh, in the novel, I'm guessing these are like specific. So I guess it makes sense why D probably makes sense. So let's see why B is incorrect. Um, okay, compare. There's no. Yeah, it makes sense. Um, I guess what really hit me, I guess the part that really like made me click on that would probably be like her hesitation. Talk about he and a she. Something about, oh, there's another side character, but I guess yeah, that's probably wrong. But D sound the best, obviously. Um, yeah. I might just do like two more for today, actually, just because I have something to do. But yeah, I'll just hit up with a 20-minute today instead of the typical 30-minute, unfortunately, because I got some work I have to finish. Okay, based on the text of author one, what's Marx likely to be experimented and describing text. Okay, yeah, this one I probably didn't really go too much in depth in between, but basically, um, yeah, basically I chose this one. It's incomplete. Like again, clearly went right here. Does not fully explain how the energy to speak in the interface. This is pretty much the idea why I clicked on it, and validating regardless of it really didn't mention that. Yeah, it really didn't mention like a specific material applying to general law. But when I was reading text one, it's talk about debates about like this physics and this physics, and I saw text two researchers. So I'm like, oh yeah. So for this question, I guess I read this. Oh, this is like an argument, and this is like evidence. So what does this evidence back up to this one from for this question that I saw? Okay, I guess we could do one more. Okay. Just feel like something I did already. If Morio knows from Valley, James portray his praising the renunciation of rural upbringing. Okay. Probably this one. Ah, crap. Um, Low key, I am not very familiar with the word, which is probably bad, because I know responsive and mastery is incorrect, but these two, um, renunciation does sound like a past tense stuff. If I'm incorrect, let me renunciation. Yeah, formal rejection. Oh shoot, never mind. Um, when I saw renunciation, I thought I was thinking about like the past because it's talk about her upbringing, right? Upbringing, but I guess ambivalence is a state of mixed feeling. Okay, there's mixed feeling. Okay, desperate desire to escape. Okay, yeah, this one probably makes the most sense. But this one talked about. I thought this one talked about past, but yeah, I guess this one's just vocab on me. Yeah, vocabulary. Yeah, that's the vocabulary thing for me. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Okay, based on the text, how the author two most likely to respond to the overall argument presented in one. Okay, that was a bad ending on my part, but uh, the word asserting really hit screw me over, I guess. But cause this one talk about like the lyric being like the main part, and then this one talk about how song lyric qualifies literary text, and talked about like the difference. And this one talked about like emotion is more important, and melodies and lyrics are just lyrics, I guess. And yeah, lyrics, C words, and instrumental. Then let's see what it actually says. Cause A talked about arguing that cannot classify as poetry. Yeah, talked about how it's not classified. Claimed that secondary melody and the instrumental, not lyric alone. It says right here, song lyrics are qualified lyrics. And then yeah, so B is incorrect because it classified poetry. There's no indication. Blah blah blah. C is incorrect because it talked about the claim of the in addition to dependency. D is incorrect because it does not imply the song are well crafted, but only too much of its information and songs are crafted. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's all for today. I have something to do, so yeah.